So I was totally getting my butt kicked by a photo earlier, and I found a cool little workaround, and in this video, I'm going to show you what that workaround was. This image was saved by Luminar Neo, which I mentioned not because they're a sponsor of the channel, which they are, but I mentioned it because it legitimately saved my behind. The link is in the description if you want to check this out, but let's just count this as my obligation to show you sky replace, which happened to be the only way to get this done, at least in a timely fashion. This image is from an upcoming video that's coming out really soon, and granted, it's underexposed, and so I thought, oh, this will be a good teaching opportunity, but it turned into this, an editing teaching opportunity. Look at these crazy hairs that are getting kicked up in the wind. It would take forever to do these individually, and even so, I could not make it look good with a clone tool or an eraser tool. Nothing was working. It was looking ugly, but I found a way. I'm gonna pretend real quick that I haven't already done some minor adjustments to this. Okay, so we got our adjustments done, and here's what happens if we try to fix the hair. Now, in my opinion, Photoshop has the best healing brush, but it still isn't working. And if I come to the clone tool, make my brush a little smaller, and I try to do individual, it works for a little while, but once we get into these thicker spots, it's stamping hair, it's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. See, we have this really disgusting little spot right there. It's just an absolute nightmare. I'm talking days it would take me to do this with a clone or an eraser tool or a spot heal, whatever. It'd take forever. Whatever are we to do, Z Wade? I'm gonna show you. Before I move on, I actually need to sharpen the background a little bit, otherwise things are gonna get kind of funky in this high contrast with a bright background, and I already know this, and so let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna select our subject, we're gonna invert that, and we're going to kind of actually tighten up the background to make it a little bit easier when we get to the next section. Okay, that should give us the best chance of making this work. So now we're gonna right click, we're gonna edit in Luminar Neo, and we're gonna edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. You're going to go to the edit module, and you're gonna click Sky AI. And this is gonna give you some options that it thinks would be good for this photo, but I ended up going with one called Galaxy One. And it still looks just a little bit funky. We have some weird gray areas where it didn't quite identify the background, but it's okay because we can still refine this. You go to Mask Refinement, go to this global slider. That fixes it some. You can also close gaps, and you just play around with these and get them the best that you can. Then you can go into Sky Orientation, and you can kind of move it around a little bit and see how goofy that looks. But we can push that horizon where it's a little bit better. We can also reposition it like this. So you play around with these sliders, and if you're still having issues with the background, in this case the branches looking a little bit funky, then you can go back to Lightroom and you can refine it until you get there, or at least get it to a point where you can easily spot heal out the goofy things. Now what I did is I ended up darkening the background to get rid of some of that goofy stuff, and now we are up to date on where I'm at with this current edit. And how about you guys watch me finish it? Well, guys, that was an absolutely treacherous edit. If you enjoyed it or learned something here today, I hope you'll join this community. As you can see, it has nothing to do with the fact that it was underexposed, because modern cameras can handle it. But sometimes the little small details are just too much, and man, this is a great workaround. I'm Z Wade, the Z Wade, and Z Wade Photo. Stay sharp, YouTube.